Actually, am I unmuted? Everybody can hear?
You're fine. You're a co-host. You can do whatever you have to do.
That's why I'm seeing who's coming in.
You
So
bet.
first of all, I'm thrilled and delighted to be here. And I'm going to explain myself a little because I'm not going, usually when I lead services for my synagogue, I stand at the appropriate moments and I sit down at the appropriate moments and like that. But I am just about to go into back surgery in about a week and a half. So I'm not standing very much. So you'll forgive me, I hope. I'm going to remain seated for this service. And I also understand that everybody has whatever Siddur you have, and I'm not going to announce pages, but for Kabbalat Shabbat, we're going to do what we would normally do. We're going to go through Kabbalat Shabbat. And I hope that the melodies will be either melodies that you know and love or melodies that are new to you. Melodies that you know and love are dear, and melodies that are new are like spice. They're like bechamel sauce. You know, you pour it all over everything and it tastes better. So Shalom Aleichem, there's a wonderful thumpy kind of melody by Shalom Brazil. So it's a wonderful melody to start with, has its own kind of rhythm. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Again, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon Hayayim Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Again, Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeichem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon Hayai Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yalla la la la, yalla la la, yalla la 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 la la. Ya la 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 la, ya 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 da da, ya la 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 la, ya 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 ya. We begin the first of these psalms that lead us as if we were walking up very shallow steps on our way to the temple. Each psalm takes us closer and closer to Shabbat. Lechu neranina L'Adonai Nariya Litzur Yishenu Nekat Ma'avata B'todah Bizmirot Nariya Lo Nekat Ma'avanav B'todah Bizmirot Nariya Lo Ki El Gadol Adonai Umelech Gadol Al Kol Elohim Asher Beyado Mecharei Aretz V'to'afot Harim Lo Asher Beyado Mecharei Aretz מטורפות הרים לו. ארבעים שנה אקוט בדור, ואומרם תוהה לבבהם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי ואפי, אם יבואון אל מנוחתי. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים, היי די די, כי כל אלוהי העמים אלילים, ואדוני שמיים עשה, הוד והדר לפניו, עוז ותפארת במקדשו, הבו לאדוני משפחות עמים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו, היי השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, חילו מפניו כל הארץ. אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך, אף תיכון תבל ואל תימות. ידינמים במשרים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, איי איי איי, אז ירננו כל עצי יער, לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים באמונתו, יאי לה לה לה, יאי לה לה לה, יאי 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 יאי, יאי 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 יאי, Yay, 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 Adonai malach tagel haaretz, yismechu im rabim, anan parafel svivav, tzedek mishpat mechon yisrael. אוהבי אדוני סינוריו, שומר נפשות חסידיו, מירשעים יצילם. אור זרוע לצדיק, ולישרי לב שמחה, שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה, הושיע לו ימינו וזרוע קודשו. ראו כל אפסי הארץ. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וקול זמרה, בחצוצרות וקול שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירום הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביו, נהרות ימחאו כף יחד, הרים ירדנו, לפני אדוני קיווה, לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים במישרים, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביו, נהרות ימחאו כף יחד, הרים ירננו. אדוני מלך ירגזון עמים, יושב קרובים תנות הארץ. אדוני בציון גדול. רומם אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו לאדוני הקדוש הוא. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו. I always love this next psalm. I love Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai. All of these repetitions, all of the words that we get to say over and over again, it just kind of elevates the whole, it elevates the melody, it elevates the feeling of it. It's like ratcheting up the emotion as we march towards Shabbat. So, Mizmor LeDavid. Excuse me. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod ba'oz, Havul Adonai kivod shivmo, Yishtachavu Adonai b'chadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim. Adonai, Adonai, al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai b'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, Vayarkidem kimo egel Levanon vesirion kimo ven re'im. Kol Adonai chotsev lavodesh, Kol Adonai yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yicholel hayalot, vayechesov ye'arot, uvehechalo kulo omer kavod, kulo, kulo, kulo omer kavod. Adonai lama bul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz le'amo yiten. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Lecha Dodi. If there aren't a million melodies to Lecha Dodi, I'll eat my hat. Everybody has different melodies for Lecha Dodi. And in fact, you could have a Lecha Dodi-a-thon where everybody came up and sang a different melody. And if they didn't, they'd have to sit down. And you could go forever with Lecha Dodi. But I wanted to just tell you something that maybe a lot of people know. Lecha Dodi was never always sung in one melody. In fact, in the 1800s, in the 19th century, Lecha Dodi was a cantor's big thing. That the Lewandowski chorus for Lecha Dodi, that very sedate Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. That would be punctuated by the cantor doing every single different verse in a different kind of flourish, a different kind of recitative. I ain't gonna do that. But I will do the very traditional thing of changing the melody at lo tevoshi. At lo tevoshi, at the paragraph that says, don't be sad, don't be embarrassed, get up, dust yourself off. At that, I'm going to change the melody, so don't jump the gun on me. Oh gosh, I wish it was Hanukkah because I did like 10 different melodies for Hanukkah, but never mind. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, Shabbat, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmi anu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem v'litziferet l'tilalala, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila la la, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, kumi tzei mitoch ha'afecha, rav lach shevet le'emekabacha, v'hu yachamol alayichem la. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabela. Hidna ari me'afar kumi, leave she bigdei tifatechami, ayad ben yishai bechalachmi, korva el nafshi gia la la la. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Hitoriri hitoreri, kiva orech kumiori, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayich nikla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lo tevoshi, lo tikalmi matish tochaki. Mumatemi bach yekasu haniheami venivnata yiraltila lechadodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela vehayulim shisa shosayich veracha kukol nevalayich yasisalayich Elohayich kim sos chatan akala lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela yaminu smol tifrotzi v'et Adonai ta'aritzi ayadish ben parzi v'nismecha v'nagila lechadodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha uve'tzola tochemune am segula boi kala lechadodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. And now, since at least here in the East, Hachama Merosh Ha'ilanot Nistalka, the sun from the treetops has sunk. From now it is Shabbat. So wherever you are, we turn to the Psalm for Shabbat. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodod la'Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chazdecha, ve'emunatcha ba'leilot, alei asor va'alei navel, alei higayon mechinor. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon. And since I mentioned Lewandowski, a nod to the 18th century. Sadikata mar yifrach ke'erez balavanon yizkeh shetuli beveit Adonai Bechatzrod Eloheinu Yafriku od Yenufun Veseva Deshenim Verananim Yehiyu Lahagi Ki Asher Adonai Suri Velo Avlatavo Adonai Malach Keut Lavesh Lavesh Adonai Oz Hitazar Ahavti Cantor Vel Baltimore Nachon Kisacha Mehas Meholamata Nasu Neharot Adonai Nasu Neharot Kolam Yisu Neharot Dochya Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishberei Yam Ahadir Bamarom Adonai Edotecha Nemnu Mehod Leveit Chana Vakodesh Adonai Leorech Yamim. Well, we have finished the book of Breshit, and we begin the book of Shemot. And just to lead us into Kaddish Rabbanan, I wanted to just say 2 words about the end of the book of Breshit. When Joseph saves Egypt, he does not save the Egyptians. It's a very interesting thing, because what Joseph does in the book of Breshit is impoverish the Egyptians in order to save Egypt. He institutes the practice of the king's fifth, where the king takes 1/5 of everything. That practice was in effect even into medieval England. The king's fifth was still a thing in the time when serfs and vassals and kings ruled England. And when the 7 years of famine come, Joseph sells back to the Egyptians what he took from them, and he sells it back to the point where they even sell their own bodies into slavery. So the Jews are, the Israelites, the Hebrews aren't the only ones who are enslaved when the book of Shemot opens, because the Egyptians sell everything that they have for grain. They sell their land because nothing's growing. They sell their animals because they can't feed them. They sell every possession they have until finally they sell themselves. It's a point that sort of gets overlooked in the triumphant existence that we have at the end of the book of Breshit. But it makes it sort of more understandable at the book of Shemot when we say that a Pharaoh arose who did not know Joseph. Because the Pharaoh really didn't care as much about Egyptians as he did about Egypt as an entity, as a government. And so I always read it with a little bittersweet. I always read the end of Breshit with this little bittersweet thing, because even as the Israelites are enslaved in Egypt, so are so many others, so many other people who over the course of those 7 years of famine lost everything. So we face our own history. We go into the book of Shemot. We hope that the names, that the redemption from slavery brings us a better love and a greater understanding of fellow human beings. Those who are in mourning, those who are observing a Yortzeit, and everybody who studied. We say Kaddish to Rabbanan. And if you'd like to unmute yourself so that you can hear the Amen come at you, that's a good thing too. So if you have the power to unmute yourself, feel free.
May I just say before we start, I just wanted to let some of the old FJMC hands know that we did lose a past regional president from New England yesterday. Lester Macklin died. Those of you who knew Lester remember his fervor for FJMC, and funeral is of course Zoom, and I have the information. If you email me after Shabbat, I can send that to you. And may his memory be for a blessing.
Amen.
Amen Selah. Yitgadal
God,
Rabba, the Almighty,
Yamad Yigrach Yusei, Yamlich Malchutei, Yom Echon, Chaye Chol Beit Yisrael, Agala, Vizman, Kariv, Vimru, Amen. Yesh Vei Rabba Barach, Olam, Omei Omaya, Yibarach, Yishtabach, Yifar, V'yitramam, V'yinaseh. Yifar, V'yitalev, V'yichalal, V'nei Pusha, Leila, Mikol, Birchata, V'shirasa, Ushbechata, V'nechemata, Amiran, Yoma, V'imru, Amen.
Amen.
Al Yisrael, Al Rabbanan, Al Talmidei, Al Kol Talmidei Hom, Kol Man Askim V'yoraitai, V'yatat V'hadain, V'yipol Ata V'yata, Hey L'chol Shmayim, Hina V'chista V'rachamim,
Amen.
Ha'in Ha'richin, Ufarkanam, Yekadam, Avachon, Shmaya, Yimru, Amen.
Amen.
Yesh, Amar Rabba, Mishmaya. Chaim Tovim Aleinu, Yal Kol Yisrael, Yimru, Amen.
Amen.
Shalom B'Mamav, Rachama V'Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, Yal Kol Yisrael, Yimru, Amen.
Amen.
so good to hear you all. It's really, it's a blessing, you know. One of the few things that Zoom has given us is the ability to come into each other's homes. And in times of mourning, and I'm in mourning myself for my mom, to be able to hear other people reciting Kaddish is a great thing. So we turn to the opening of the Mariv service.
And please mute yourselves again.
Okay. Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'torah ma'ariv ha'aravi. Umachalif et hatzmanim u'mesader et kochim u'mashmatim Umavir yom u'mevir laila Umavdil ben yom u'ben laila Adonai tzvaot shemo El chai v'kayam Tamid yimloch aleinu leolam vaed Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, v'shochveinu u'vkumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, Leolam vaed, ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, ve'orech yameinu, ובהם נחכה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. מאהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו משלום. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Adonai Elohechem Emet B'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu v'ein zulato v'anachnu Yisrael Amo. Ha'il ha'oseh gdolot areichem ha'sad nafshi. מלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל, לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות הספר לב. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ועמיתנו מלכנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו, צאתנו ובואנו, לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. היי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, ועמד דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי הוויה. יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה ברכו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו Amen. We take time for our private Amidah. Elohai, Nitzur Lishoni Mera, Usvatai Midaber Yirma. Elohai, Nitzur Lishoni Mera, Usvatai Midaber Yirma. Elohai, Nitzur lishon himera, usfatai medaber mima. Elohai, nitzur lishon himera, usfatai medaber mima. Petach libi b'toratecha u'mitzvotecha. Petach libi b'toratecha u'mitzvotecha. Petach libi b'toratecha u'mitzvotecha. Petach libi b'toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha. We come together for the main Sheva. This Vayechulu, it just makes me want to jig around the room. So if you'd like to just abandon your screen and jig around the room, feel free. Vayechulu hashamayim v'ha'aretz v'chol tzva'am vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayikadesh yikadesh oto Ki vo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Ya la 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 ya la la. Ki vo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Vayechulu hashamayim v'ha'aretz v'chol tzva'am. Vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa. Vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa. Vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayikadesh yikadesh oto. Ki vo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Konei Shamayim v'Aretz, Magen Avot Bidvaro, Mechaye Metim B'Ma'amaro, Ha'el HaKadosh She'ein Kamohu, Hameniach Le'amo, B'Yom Shabbat Kodsho, Kivam Ratza L'Haniach Lahem, Kivam Ratza L'Haniach Lahem, Lefanav Na'avod, V'yira v'fachad, V'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid, Me'on habrachot. El hahodaot Adon hashalom, Mekadesh hashabat, Umvarech shvi'i, Umeniach bikdusha, Le'am medushne oner, Zecher Lema'ase Bereshit. Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu, ritzei v'imnuchateinu, kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chalkeinu b'toratecha, sabeinu mituvecha, v'samechenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libeinu le'avdecha be'emet v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava v'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha v'yanuchu v'ah Yisrael mekadeshei shemecha Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Yitkadal v'yikadash merabah ve'amad yivra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayed chol beit Yisrael b'agalav zman kariv v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'alam v'lalmei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha v'rechuleh lamin kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'yama v'yimeru. Amen. Tikabal salotahon v'autahon dekol Yisrael kodam avahon div'shmaya v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru. Amen. And I'm guessing that everybody is going to make Kiddush at your own table and in your own time. So we won't make Kiddush now, but we rise if you can rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורל עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. אין עוד. תביאו כל יושבי תיבה כי לך תקרא. כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמי תמלוך בכבוד. כך כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Ushemo echad.
Thank you very much. So before we actually say goodbye to each other, I just wanted to ask, do you like a final something like Yigdal or Adon Olam? Or is that the way you like to? Yes? Stan's giving me the thumbs up. Okay, so this is a happy Yigdal. This is a Yigdal that I think was composed by Cantor Ramon Tassat, who is of Sephardic music very much our guru. He's the person who unveils lots of new and wonderful Sephardic things that he has found, not just from the Spanish, but also from the Italian traditions and some very formal things, some beautiful things. Zach, Kaddish Dirabanan or Kaddish Yatom, Zach? Kaddish Yatom. Zach says Kaddish Yatom. So before Yigdal, we pause for Kaddish Yatom. If you are in mourning or observing a yortzeit, please feel free to unmute and we rise for Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal,
V'yitgadah,
Kadash,
Shemei
Shmei
Rabbah,
Rabba,
Amen.
Amad
Amad,
Yisrael,
Yivrak Hirute,
V'yam
Yamlith
Malchute,
Malchute, B'chayechon,
V'yechon, V'yomechon,
Yomechon, Uchaye
V'chayikol,
Dechol Beit
Beit
Yisrael,
Yisrael,
Ba'agala,
Ba'agala,
Bizman
V'zman
Shalom,
Kariv, V'meru,
Benu.
Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach, La'alam Ulamei
Hail
Haman,
Maya.
Yibarach, Shabbat,
V'yishtabach, V'yitbarach,
Yipar, V'yitromam,
V'yitchan, V'yitnaseh,
V'yithadar,
V'yithadar, V'yithaleh,
V'yithaleh, V'yithalal,
V'yithalal, Shemei Kedusha,
V'yitkedusha, Rechu,
Barichu.
Le'ela Mimkol
Minkol
Berkatav,
Berakata
Shirata,
V'Shirata
Tushbachata,
Tushbachata
V'nechamata,
V'Nechamata
Da'amiran
Da'amiram
Lama,
B'Yama B'Miru
Amen.
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 Yehei
Yehi Shlama Rabba,
Rabba
Mishmaya,
Mishmaya
V'chayim
V'chayim
Aleinu,
Aleinu
Yalkol
V'Yakol
Yisrael,
Yisrael B'Miru
Amen.
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 Shalom
Shalom
B'mav,
Mav
Hu Ya'aseh
Ya'aseh
Shalom.
Shalom Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael B'Miru Amen.
Amen.
Thanks very much. I hope this was a satisfying service, a service that made everybody feel like that they got their Shabbat service, and that everybody had some fun with some of the melodies. This is a great Yigdal. It just kind of chops along, and since it repeats, you're all going to be able to pick it up really fast. It goes like this. Excuse me. Yigdal Elohim Chai Ve'yishtabach Nimtza V'yenet El Mitziuto Echad Ve'en Yachid Keyichudo Nelam Ve'gam Ein Sof Le'achduto Ein Lo Demut HaGuf Ve'eino Guf Lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmon lechol davar asher nivra rishon ve'en reshit lereshito hino adon olam v'chol notzar yored gedulato u'malchuto Shefa nevuato netano elan sheskulato vetifarto lo kam beYisrael kemoshe od navi umabit et emunato Torah demet natan le'amoel al yad nevi'o Neman beito lo ya khalif ha'el velo yamir dato le'olamim lezulato sofe biyodea sitarenu mabit lesof davar bikadmato gomer leish chesed kemivalo Noten lerashara kirishato yishlach leketzia min mishichenu liftot mechakeket yeshuato metim yachayel verov chasto Baruch Adei Ad Shem Tehilato Metim Yechayel Berov Chasto Baruch Adei Ad Shem Tehilato Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Koach, Yashikoach.
Yeshikoach.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach.
Shalom, Yashkoach.
Thank you all.
Shabbat Shalom.
Cantor Marcia Lane from, is it Sons of Israel in Nyack?
Yes, indeed.
Yeshikoach, Toda Rabbah. On behalf of all the organizations that are kind of putting this together, the International Kiddush Club, Federation of Jewish Men's Club, Merkaz USA, Merkaz Canada, thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful. Hopefully you don't get too much snow. Hopefully you stay safe. Hopefully you get a vaccine. Hopefully that
All
things
of
will
those
all
things.
be good for all of us. To the Ronsberg family, Toda Rabbah for sponsoring.
So much. I hope it honors the spirit, the neshama of your daughter.
And may they only know good things and only simchas. To everybody, again, thanks so much for joining. Stay tuned from Women's League. Oh, I think I forgot Women's League. I apologize. Women's League as well is part of it. So sorry. It's what happens when you ad lib. So thank you as well. But Women's League, Men's Club, International Kiddush Club, Masorti Canada, Masorti USA, stay tuned because we've had so much fun doing this that we're going to put together some sort of Purim, an event for Purim on Zoom, as well as Tu B'Shvat. So, and Zach's been just instrumental in putting everything together. So sit tight, more information will be coming out. If anybody would like to sponsor, you can pick the dollar amount you want to sponsor. You can pick the organization you want your kesef or your money to go to. It's all up to you. If you have I don't know, you get your vaccine you want to sponsor, you can do it for the Got My Vaccine sponsor, because all these people are putting pictures on Facebook. I got my vaccine. Whatever turns them on, it's all good. Just everybody be safe, be healthy, enjoy the family, your loved ones, and just enjoy life and try and have a positive attitude because it really helps.
I just want to say thank you so much. It was really an honor and a pleasure to be here. And by the way, Mr. Gottesman,
Ken.
my Aunt Sylvia married Cliff Gottesman. Any chance?
Absolutely. I'm sure I know Cliff. No, I don't. No. We're all from, they're actually all from an area. My late father came over from Orlova, Czechoslovakia, by the Carpathian Mountains in 1949 after surviving Auschwitz, Buna, Buchenwald, and a couple others. My dad was so lucky that on January 27th, 1945, he went on to a death march to not Buchenwald.
Some bad place.
I can't think of the name now, but Auschwitz liberated the day after he left. And the next place he went to he went on another march. The day after he left on the march, the next camp was liberated. But
Should have walked slower.
yeah, he survived, and kind of amazing. So we're always looking for relatives because we really don't have any on that side. So
you can claim my Uncle Cliff. It's okay.
Definitely. I want to claim the Gottesmans in New York that own parking garages. They're multi-billionaires, but I keep writing to them and they just don't want to respond. I don't know why.
I have to ask something. Was Macklin from Lexington?
Yes.
Oh, so I know his wife. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And
next, Lapidus learned his son's shul.
Yes.
Nice.
He's a rabbi there. Yeah.
Next week we'll have a little, I guess, Sephardic or Latino services. It's Cantor. I lost it. Fleischer from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Very nice.
I think that's where it is. Who's going to be joined by his father, who's also a chazan.
Yeah. So
it should be interesting. Hopefully, do a couple Ladino songs because it should be good.
Excellent. Wow.
Marcia, I have a question.
For you.